Hey everyone, and welcome to the first module of this Django course. This module is all about going through the docs that I've put together for the course and also just getting started. Okay, so nothing strenuous or heavyweight, and I'll be following along every single step of the way. So let's jump straight into it. Okay, so I've got a tab open in my browser here on GitHub. So this is the main repository for the course, link to which will be in the description below. So take a look there. If ever you get lost, there'll be all of the links for the whole project. So don't worry there. So this is GitHub. Django course is what the repository is called. You can see I've got a whole bunch of branches. Let's not busy ourselves with that. There's branches for each module and a few others. We'll be concentrating on module 1 in this module, but we'll be progressing through the modules throughout the course. Okay, so not to worry there. And also all of these different directories and files, don't worry right now. They'll all become clear as we move through. Let's worry about what it says in the README file. Okay, so they're the first steps that you need to worry about. So let's get this out of the way. So a little bit of an intro. So this course, I'll put this together for anyone looking to learn Django and anyone who already knows Django, just looking to polish up on their skills. Okay, so novice all the way to Jedi, right? Anyone in between. So hopefully, no matter what your skill level is, you'll pick something up from this course. Okay, so in a way you can feed back to me if the course is good or indifferent, is to just like this video, add a comment, okay, and also subscribe to the channel, right? So if you like this content, you'll get a lot more of it over the coming months, right? So that's how you feed back if this course is good. Prerequisites. In this course, at some point, we'll be looking at matching case statements, which was released in Python 3.10. So it stands to reason that we need that on our machine. Anything earlier, we won't be able to go through those bits and pieces. So if you've already got Python on your machine and it's 3.9 or lower, then you will need to visit python.org. Got it open here. And visit the download section. Select the machine that you're using and just download the most recent version. You can see here it's 3.10.6, okay? So anything above 3.10, you're good to go. Also, I've got another tab open here on djangoproject.com. That is Django's own website. Fantastic. It's got all the documentation on there. It really is the hub where you need to go if ever you get stuck with Django, right? I'd be shocked if you couldn't find the answer to any problem you have with Django on their own website. So we'll be referencing that quite a lot throughout the course. Okay, so getting started. So before I touch on this, I am using the text editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code. The reason I use VS Code is because with the extensions, it kind of acts like an IDE, and it's really, really good if you code using Python and Django. Okay, I found it to be fantastic. I've used others such as Sublime. I just find VS Code really, really good. You haven't got to use it, but if you are trying to pick a text editor, I would suggest VS Code. Okay, so what it looks like on my machine is this. Okay, so we've got a little panel here for all of our directories and files. We've got the output here, so this is where you can code directly, and then we've got a little terminal section at the bottom here where you can open up different types of terminals. So I've got mine to default to CMD, but you can have PowerShell, you can have Git Bash, you can have, I've got Ubuntu also, which is a Windows shell for Linux installed on the machine, which is really, really good. And you've got a whole bunch of like extensions and what have you that you can install, which makes the text editor function very much like an IDE. But this isn't about VS Code, this is about Django. But it's good to know, you know, whenever I do these tutorials, sometimes I get comments about, oh, what text editor do you use and what extensions have you got? So let's get that out of the way. Okay, let's bookend that and go back to GitHub. So the repository, I've had questions also about, you know, do you need a GitHub account? Well, no, you don't. But if you were to use some of these options here, you would need a GitHub account. So for instance, if you're going to SSH to clone down a repository, you would need a GitHub account. If you haven't got one, all you need to do, go to this code green button here, and you can download it as a zip file. Okay, it's nice and easy. It's a public repository, but to use some of these options here to clone down, you will need a GitHub account. Okay, I will be using option 1 in this tutorial because I've set it up as SSH and I've got my SSH key there, so I can clone down the correct repository just with that one line of code. But first, we need a repository or a directory on our machine called Django course. Now, I've already created mine, so we don't need to do that. it's in my directory called development. You can put yours wherever you like, but wherever you put it, just remember where the path is. That will be called root directory in this course, okay? That is your root directory for this course. So create Django course. You can see in VS Code, I've already created it. It's here. And in a terminal here, you can see the output is already saying that my terminal, the root of the terminal currently is users Bobby development Django course. Okay, so I've got my terminal open in the root directory. So that's kind of what I'm meaning when I'm saying this in GitHub. Open a terminal and CD into root directory. CD stands for change directory. Okay, then use these codes to clone down the repository. So if we go back in here, just dump that in here. Can you see that? Yes, you can. Click enter. I will need to add a passphrase because my SSH key as a passphrase. You probably won't. There we go. Now you can see here, I will keep putting CLS, which is clear screen, so it doesn't busy up what's going on behind my head here. But you can see now I've cloned down the module 1 branch. You can see it comes with a media directory. Okay, there we go. We've got a few pictures there. Don't worry about that. We'll be working with those later on in the course. We've got some steps. Okay, so we've got different MD files for each module. So we'll be looking at module 1 in a couple of seconds. We've got a git ignore file. That's just a file that you add to your repository whenever you're using Git, and that tells your system what to ignore when pushing code to a Git repository. So you don't want to be sending secret information. Okay, so that's the reason that you don't want to be sending passwords or API keys, things like that, or environment variables. And then you've got a README file. That's the README file that we were using a few moments ago. Okay, so this is the bog standard, completely empty project that we'll be running from. Now, what I can do is I can go back to Git, and this is what you can do also. It depends what you want to do. You can now go into main and you can click on module 1. And this is what we're looking at. This is what we're cloned down, okay? And you can open up steps and you can click on module 1 MD. And these are the instructions that we'll be following along with now, okay? And the reason you can do that is because it renders it into the browser as markdown. So it looks really, it's easy to read, it's easy to follow. But with VS Code, what you can also do is if we close down this here and if we open up a preview in steps module 1, click on preview, remove that and remove that. You can actually, it previews, it actually renders that markdown in VS Code in the same way as it does in GitHub, which makes it easy for me as a tutor to not keep flicking between browser and VS Code. Okay, so this is module 1. So this is my Django course. I hope you like it. These notes follow on from the README file. So I'm just going to use this opportunity to explain how these docs work. The first section gives you a rundown of what you should be looking at on the left-hand side here. So it's saying here that this is your root directory. You should have a media directory, a steps directory, a git ignore, and a README file. Okay, so each one of these module files tells you what you should be looking at in terms of your directory setup. I did it this way because I've found in following on with courses, there's a lot of assumptions being made that the pupil is actually adding files to the right directories and so on and so forth. You put a file in the wrong directory and then use a piece of code that is in the course or the module, it might not work, right? So you just need to make sure that you follow along and you get your structure bang on, okay? So it says, if in doubt here, run the following code. So this allows you to check out to module 1 branch and then just pull it down. So you pull them down origin module 1. So that will, if ever you've got any doubt about your configuration, just run these codes and it'll just kind of sync up with everything. Steps and commands. So you should now have a directory called Django course in your development directory, which we have. This will be known as your root directory. In this module, we will start our project. To do this, we need to create a virtual environment. What is a virtual environment? So before I go through that, I've got a link to Python's own docs about a virtual environment. So without reading straight off the screen. So this project, or any Django project or Python project, requires your own code, and which is kind of bespoke code, and then you can also use packages, right? So it's third-party packages that have been written by somebody else that carry out kind of regular tasks, or really handy tasks that you might want to just use in your project. So just by bringing in third-party packages, we can really kind of add fantastic functionality to our course with minimal amount of code. Okay, so that's why we use it. The reason why we use a virtual environment is because when we install these packages, they get installed in a little bubble, a little environment on your machine specifically designed for this project, opposed to installing it machine-wide. Because what you'll end up having then is you'll have dependencies issues and it'll all go horribly wrong. But you don't really want to bring in packages that you can access across your whole machine. It will slow things down. So it's good to have a virtual environment on your machine for the project we're working in. That's a very sort of butchered way of explaining what V&V is. But look, if you need a much more detailed rundown of what it is and how to get started, then go to the docs on Python, right? So let's go back to VS Code and let's crack on. Let's use this line of code here in our terminal. So open terminal, new terminal. Mine defaults to CMD, yours might default to PowerShell, depends what machine and setup that you've got. But if it opens up, if you just open up CMD on a Windows machine by clicking that, close that, and dump in Python -m VENV, and then we will call this VENV VENV. Okay, goes ahead, creates this little directory here. It has include lib and scripts, and when it's all ready to go, you'll have that there. Okay, go back to our docs, scroll down a little bit. Now we need to activate our virtual environment. So this is the Windows script. I've also got a Mac or a Linux script there as well. There we go. We now know that this virtual environment is running because we have VENV in brackets here. Now, if we called it a different name, so if we used Bobby instead of VENV, that would say Bobby in those brackets. And it will tell you what environment is actually running at that moment in time. Okay, you will know, I've missed a word there, you will know that your VENV is active when your terminal displays this. Happy days. 2, packages and requirements. So our project will rely on a whole bunch of third-party packages. We will be using a Python package manager to install these packages. The first and most important package of our course is Django. So currently we've got Python installed on our machine, but we need Django. And it's a package, it's a third-party package. And this is why we want to install Django in our virtual environment. Because if you are a developer working for 10 years, you might be using Django 1.0 on a project that you created 10 years ago. But you want a new version, Django 4, in the project you're creating today. So that's why we use virtual environments. There's another example. Let's go ahead and do pip install Django. Now you can say 4.0, and that will specifically find that package or that version. By putting Django, that will just install the most recent version of Django. And that's gone ahead and it's installed Django in our virtual environment. Now what it's done, take a couple of seconds to do that. It's installing it in lib site packages. You can see here I've just installed Django 4.1.1 and here it is here. So that's the distribution of the package, but the actual Django library is here. This is what we just installed. Okay, so Django is just made up of a whole bunch of different directories. So it's just coded in Python in the same configuration as what we're going to build this project. Okay, so don't get too scared about Django. It's just another Python project coded the same way as what we're doing this one. And there it is, Django in our lib site packages in our VENV. Okay, so CLS, clear it up a little bit. Instructions. We need a file to store a list of project requirements. This will help you when you're recreating a project in different environments. So in different environments such as staging or production or a different machine, right? So you can clone it down and you can just install the packages exactly how you want them to be. Use the following command to add all of the packages into a file called requirements.txt. There we have it, it's in here. So we open up requirements.txt, this is what we got. So installing Django, install a few other packages as well, because when you install a package, you need to also install the dependencies of that package, okay? So Django needs these other 3 packages to run. So this one's time zone data, SQL parse, you got ASCII ref, okay? And now, because we've got Django, we can use the Django admin command, okay? So you can now go ahead and start a Django project. Installing Django has given us access to a handy start project command. use the following command to start the project. The little period or full stop there will install the project in the current directory. Okay, that's what we're doing there. If you weren't in Django course, you would remove that period there. Right. Okay, so you can see now what has that added. That has added a manage.py file. That is an important file that needs to be in the root directory. We will be referencing that manage.py file when we're running a server or collecting static, which we'll go into detail about that very, very soon. Okay, so it's brought in this manage.py file. It's also created another Django course directory. Okay, so this is the main configuration of the project. So this is straight out of the box of Django. You have a constructor file or a dunder-init.py file. There'll be nothing in there, but there will be at some point. Without that, it just wouldn't work. Okay, so that's something you need in the directory. You've got an ASCII file, a WSGI file, settings.py file, and a urls.py file. Okay, so that comes straight out of the box. They have some pretty basic settings in here. Go through those shortly. And these are the URLs. Okay, so you can see here we've got the admin page already wired up. Okay, I don't want to come too far off piste, so let's look at what else. That's actually it. So in terms of this module, what have we done? We have cloned down the course onto our local machine. We've set up a virtual environment and we've started a project. That's all we've done. Nothing too heavyweight. Yeah, it's taken me, what, 20 minutes to get to this point in the video, but that's because I wanted to give you a little bit of a rundown on how to move with Python, what Django is all about and where to find the docs. So I'm just trying to give you all of the information so that you can go off and do your own research outside of the module, outside of this video. So at the very bottom of the documentation of each of these modules, you'll also see what your configuration should look like now, okay? So you can see here I've got Django course. It's exactly the same. You've got a media and a steps directory, and then you've got a venv file, which we have. If you open that up, you've got include, lib, script. That's your pyvenv config. I haven't got that in there, but it's supposed to be there. Got a git ignore file, manage.py, requirements, and readme file. Okay, that is it. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this module. I hope you'll join me in the next module. Please like this video and drop me a comment. Give me some feedback. If you want to see anything else, then I'll add it in future videos. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.